Now, the Joburg City Council is expected to convene today, but the ANC and other opposition parties have vowed to disrupt the sitting if Economic Development MMC Nkululeko Mbundo is not suspended. In fact, the sitting was disrupted. This follows allegations that he interfered in tender processes that are supposed to be handled by the Johannesburg Property Company. The Al Jamaa party is expected to use the sitting to table a motion of no confidence against Speaker Vasco da Gama. Let's go to eNCA reporter Pule Letshwiti-Jones, who's covering that story for us to give us more. Pule, we did go to the council sitting live a little earlier on, and we saw that there were still a continuation of the disruptions. What's happening there now?
Definitely, council hasn't started quite progressively, so as expected. We do know that opposition parties such as the ANC now and the EFF were requesting for the removal of the council acting secretary, saying that he had overstayed his time in office, and therefore they were expecting that the Speaker, Vasco da Gama, not reappoint him, but bring the matter to council so that the parties here can deliberate and decide whether the secretary can actually extend his period in the time of office. Now, one would also understand that without the secretary, council cannot convene, and therefore everything is being halted here. So the reports, the motion of no confidence against the councillor cannot be taken into consideration. They cannot continue unless the issue of the acting secretary here in the Joburg Council is being dealt with.
And Pule, what's the way forward? You know, we've seen this happen before, and then different political parties will ask for time to caucus, and then the next thing, council meeting is postponed to another time. What does it look like today? Does it look like we're going back to that particular behavior?
Yeah, it's very messy. It looks as though council may also collapse. I mean, if the speaker is saying that he extended the office term of the acting secretary, but council is against that move, it seems as though there may be a tug of arguments that will be going on here between opposition parties and, of course, the speaker as well, therefore leading to disruptions. And once one, or rather a group or a quarter of the opposition parties may leave the council session, it means that they cannot hold quorum, and therefore council may just collapse. But it will be interesting to see how everything unfolds over the next 2-day period that's set to accommodate the council sitting that will be taking place in the city of Johannesburg. Quite there at the heart of everything is the issue of the motion of no confidence against Speaker Vasco da Gama, which has been brought by party Al Jamaa as well, which are also expecting that that motion be tabled before the end of today. There's also issues around the MMC for Economic Development, Nkululeko Mbundo, which is also expected to be spoken about today. The city of Joburg has been challenged by a lot of issues, including service delivery issues. Just yesterday, we saw residents of Soweto marching to the mayor's office in regards to the issue of electricity and water as well, which has also been quite a huge crisis for the city here. And just like you've mentioned now, there's an issue of inflation on the rise now. So residents would want to see what councillors can come up to in terms of helping them out and ensuring that the service delivery at a much more sufficient cost. But for now, it's just arguments here going on and political squabbling between these opposition parties, which brings to us and tell us that there cannot be a way forward once there's such behavior going on here.
And Pule, just lastly and very quickly, in terms of this, motion of no confidence that Al Jamaa wants to table against the speaker, this is not the first time that that particular party has said that they want this to happen. Other parties have also supported this motion. Am I correct?
Definitely. It's not the first time that this has been mentioned. Just previously, we do understand that the speaker had said that he had, personal arrangements he had to attend to. Therefore, the motion could not be tabled. But today he's present. The party tabling the motion is present. So it will be interesting to see what goes from there onwards and whether it will be successful. Remember, the ANC caucus and Al Jamaa and the EFF are up against the coalition government. So at the end of the day, numbers are what they'll be relying on. And if they cannot reach that certain percentage to unseat the coalition government here, which includes the DA, Action SA, Freedom Front Plus, amongst others, then this motion will not be successful. So it's all about a numbers game at the end of the day. But before all of that can proceed, before the business day of council can proceed, they first need to deal with the item of the acting secretary of council, because without him, council cannot proceed. And this matter is very important that it be dealt with, or else they'll be stuck here the whole day and nothing will proceed.
All right, Pule Letshwiti-Jones in Johannesburg with that report. Thank you very much. But hearing Pule say that council might collapse if politicians aren't able to agree today actually means that you and I will be affected in terms of services. As you heard Pule rightfully say yesterday, those protests that we're seeing in areas such as Soweto are because of no service delivery. And, you know, in particular, issues such as this also contribute.